Hey everyone, so I'm really excited. I feel like I say that in a lot of videos, but I guess I'm just excited a lot. But today I am starting the first seeds for my garden. I guess technically, I have started some seeds already. Actually, did I show this to you guys or just on Instagram? So a few weeks ago now, my friend whose grandma recently passed, she gave me a bunch of old gardening books and also some old seeds, bird of paradise seeds that we're estimating are at least 30 years old because she said her grandma got them from Hawaii, and the last time she was in Hawaii was the 80s. So they're actually sitting in front of the window where I am. But this was the packet that it came in. So bird of paradise seeds, and it said on here that seeds should be kept moist after planting and will germinate within a month. Will 30-year-old seeds germinate? I don't know. It's been 2 going on 3 weeks and I've kept them moist, so I guess we'll see. But I do have them under just a little dome thing for heat retention and moisture retention, and we're gonna see if they grow. So I guess technically those are the first seeds that I've sown, but I don't know if they're actually going to grow and where I will put them if they do sprout. Anyway, back to the point of the video, is that I am starting my first seeds for this season. And this is actually a project that I'm doing for the app From Seed to Spoon, which is a garden planning app that I've been using since I started gardening in 2019. And then last year, I think, is when they got purchased by Park Seed, or they're now partnered with Park Seed. So what they are doing this year is I, along with 3 other gardeners from different growing zones. I think I'm actually in the coldest growing zone of all of the gardeners. We are all planting a salsa garden, and we're kind of showing the differences between all of our growing zones. And then at the end, assuming I don't kill all of these plants, we will make salsa and talk about it. So they did send me all of this stuff for free. So I have a biodome, I have the seeds that we're gonna plant today. They sent me some grow bags as well. So I did get those for free. However, they're not paying me to make this video. All I'm doing is using the stuff and sending them video clips, but I can say and do whatever I want in this video. But I am gonna mark this as, is it promotion? Something that you tag, just because I'd rather be safe than sorry. But I don't know if I know I've never used a biodome. I don't know if I've ever grown any of the specific seeds that they have sent me for the salsa challenge, but we will see how all of this goes. And there are other people participating too, but I know it's the 4 of us specifically that are recording our progress throughout the growing season and sending them short clips. So if you want to see the actual video, I think they've done one already. That's on the From Seed to Spoon YouTube page, and I'll link that down below as well. Anyway, let me go ahead and show you what it is that I'm working with today. So this here, and I apologize for the reflection, is the biodome. So this is similar, I guess, to the Jiffy Pea pellets that I use. It does seem to be a little bit more like higher quality of the plastic, and it's taller, which means this will work really well once I'm done starting the seeds in here for my houseplant propagation. So when I propagate like string of hearts, what else am I really propagating under this? Probably just all of my string of hearts. I like to put them under the humidity dome because that works really well for those types of plants. So yeah, I have the dome, and then in it are the little pellets. I'm pretty sure I have to soak these. They are smaller than the Jiffy Peat pots, or the Jiffy Peat pellets that I use, so I'm assuming, well, I know I will have to repot these into a larger container before I'm able to move them outside, especially because I'm growing tomatoes and peppers in here, so those won't be ready to move outside for maybe 2 more months from now. So I will be potting these up. I'm planning to fit everything for the salsa garden in this one dome, and I won't even be able to plant everything that I'm starting because my garden is smaller, but anything that I don't put in my garden, I will be giving away. And that's something that I think I'm gonna do in general with all of my stuff. Last year I gave some away to local schools, but I want to like start even more so that I have even more stuff to give away. So yeah, they have these, which I think I'll have to soak. I will probably read the instructions before I start this. It comes with plant food, which my Jiffy Pea pellets do as well. Let's see, what does this say? Is this for the soaking? It just says for small seedlings and watering seed trays, use a 1/4 teaspoon per gallon of water. And these are the instructions. So You know, I'll go over the seeds that I'm growing first in here before I actually go through the instructions on here. Okay, so here is what I'm growing. I have 2 types of tomatoes. I have the Tomato Improved Hybrid Parks Whopper, so those are gonna be large. I have the organic tomato Roma, and I don't think I've ever done Roma tomatoes in the garden before, so that'll be interesting to see. Then I have the Pepper Hybrid Parks Whopper Jalapeno, so again, a larger fruiting pepper plant. And then I have the Sweet Rainbow Blend pepper, so that should be at least pretty and hopefully delicious. I'm excited for that one. And then I have 3 herbs. I have basil, which I've grown before, so that should be pretty easy. Then I have cilantro, which I haven't grown before, but I do know it's a cool season crop. So obviously the majority of these are warm season. They probably won't be ready to harvest. When do I start harvesting my tomatoes? Probably in like July, later July. So cilantro timing will be interesting. I think I'm gonna start some now this spring and have that out there because once it gets too warm, it'll bolt. But I think I'm gonna grow some now just so I can experience it, and I'll start some again for the fall crop, so near the end of the summer going into fall, and I'll use that cilantro in the salsa, if that makes sense in terms of planning. And I am a person who likes cilantro. It doesn't taste like soap to me, but I think of all of these, the plant that I'm most excited to try, I don't know if this is weird or not, is chives. So I love chives. I've never grown them myself, and if I recall correctly, the flowers look like gomphrena, the flower heads, and I love gomphrena. So for this one I am excited because, well, one, I didn't plant any regular onions this year, and I can't imagine having a salsa without some type of onion in there, so I think the chives will be good. But I also want to cut off the flowers, and I think it's chive vinegar that people make, and I want to make some of that. So that should be really good. So I'm excited for this. I'm probably going to grow, of the herbs, like multiple of the chive plants because I think I want to use those more, although I always have multiple basil anyway. But I'll start maybe with just like 1 or 2 cilantro in the spring to see how that goes. Another thing I have to consider is how I'm going to plant these because I do want to try companion planting or planting them at least in the same container, whether or not they are actual companion plants. Hopefully they just don't actually hurt each other growing in the same pot. But I think I'm going to try like my tomato plant in a 30-gallon grow bag and then maybe like 3 chive plants in front of it. I did Google to see if they can grow together, and they can. So yeah, I'm kind of thinking even now about how I'm going to arrange all of these together, but I think it's gonna be really fun. I'm hoping to keep all of the pots that I'm using for salsa in the same area so that it really is like a little salsa garden. And I'm probably gonna make like a little wooden sign that says salsa garden because I like when things are cute. So that's what I'm growing. Let's go ahead and actually get started. So here's what the instructions say for the biodome. So place the desired number of sponge refills in a bowl of tepid water. I have a bucket of water on the ground next to me. Also, I have a table that I could work on to sow the seeds. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff on it right now, so I'd have to clean it off. But I like doing projects and stuff like this on the floor. It's probably terrible for my back, but it's fun for me. So that's why I'm on the floor right now. So anyway, desired number of sponge refills in a bowl of tepid water and soak for 15 minutes. At the end of the time, the refills will have swollen with water. Hold them underwater and repeatedly squeeze them lightly to help the sponges absorb the water. That's like what are those makeup sponges? Beauty blenders? That's what that reminds me of. Then insert into the holes in this styrofoam block. Place 1 or more seeds in the pre-dibbled hole at the center of each plug. So this is the difference between the Jiffy Peat pellets, and I just learned what a dibble was in my horticulture class, but these do have holes pre-made in them, which is nice. It cuts down on the step. It's not like it's a ton of work to put the holes in the Jiffy Peat pellets, but I do like that that's already done for me here. Sow the seeds. I need to see if light is required for germination to know whether to bury them all the way or not. Keep sponges moist by filling the tray with 1/4 to 1/2 inch of water or by sprinkling or misting lightly over the top. Do not flood the sponges. This may dislodge the seeds. Cover with the dome. Keep closed until they germinate. Read the instructions for heat or light requirements. I don't have a heat mat, but we keep it pretty warm, and I've never used a heat mat before, and I've always had these seeds germinate, so that should be fine. Keep it moist until they emerge. after they emerge, provide more light and bright window under a grow light, so I'll probably keep them in the bathroom until the majority of them sprout and move them over to the grow light. Then we mix the fertilizer solution. Okay, so I don't need to do that until I move the seedlings under the grow light, which I think, I'm trying to remember if I use the fertilizer in the Jiffy Pea pellets when I plant them, or maybe I'm not supposed to and I've been doing that wrong. I'll have to read that again once I start the rest of my seeds. If you've double sown thin and then transplant, yada yada. So that should be good. First part then is soaking the sponges for 15 minutes. All of the pellets are soaking. I just started a timer for 15 minutes. I did just put all of them in there because why would I start a seed tray and not fill all the holes, even if it's more than I can actually plant? So yeah, those are soaking for 15 minutes, and during this time I'm gonna read the seed packets so I know what any of the light requirements are for germination. So it's been 15 minutes, and in that time I read the back of all of the seeds, and none of them require light to germinate. And I also made labels for everything, and I put the sponges back in the biodome. There's also a little bit of water in the bottom, so I don't want to tilt it too much and spill it. That water mostly just came from putting the sponges back in here. I'm still going to add a little bit more water once I'm done planting. But what is also interesting is that because these are more like sponges than like little pellets of soil, I don't think there's a way to like cover the seeds, if that makes sense. So I'm pretty sure I'm just supposed to put the seeds into these holes and leave that as is. Nothing needs to be placed on the top surface of these sponges. Yeah, because there's no way to like add soil into it, or none of this comes off as like separate soil. So we'll see how that does. I've never really done anything like this, so I am nervous and excited at the same time. So we're gonna get the seeds planted now. Oh, I guess I should show the labels. So there are 8 rows of 5 each, and I have 7 seeds that I'm gonna plant. So I'm gonna do 5 of most of them, but I'm gonna do 10 of the Roma tomato. Now, for like the tomatoes and the peppers, I'm only planting 1 each in my garden because that's what I have space for. I'll do probably a couple of the herbs and then more of the chives compared to the basil and cilantro. But I'm gonna do 10 of the Roma tomatoes because I think that would be the one that most people I know would want some of. So I'm gonna grow extra of those, well, extra of anything, but I'm definitely growing double of those so that I can give them away. So now we're gonna get the seeds into these holes and then get everything set and wait for them to germinate. So starting off with the Roma tomatoes, I'm just gonna put 2 each into each of the sponges. And I did wanna mention too, I used my own labels for this. I didn't see any labels that came with the biodome. So just dropping those in there. I actually do like the pre-dibbled holes in here. Makes that easy. Doing the Whopper tomatoes next. And just doing 5 of these, same as the rest of the plants. I also definitely recommend labeling before you start planting, because sometimes if I don't do that, I will forget to label at all. And then I have no idea what I'm growing. The sweet rainbow blend peppers are next. Then the Whopper jalapeno peppers. Then we're doing the basil. The cilantro. And finally, the chives. Now I'm adding a little bit more water to the bottom of the tray just so I have about that quarter to a half inch of water, and that's going to be taken up by the sponge to keep everything evenly moist. So all of the seeds are now sown and the dome is on. Next step is just to keep this closed until the majority of the seeds germinate. Also supposed to consistently keep a quarter to a half inch of water in the bottom. Again, I don't have heat mats, so I think I'm going to put this just in the bathroom right here, which I normally do because that seems to be the warmest room naturally. One thing I did notice is I think everything pretty much either said like 6 to 10 weeks before last frost is when you should plant them, except for the basil, which said 2 to 3 weeks. So I'm planting them early. We'll kind of see how it goes, but I figure if something doesn't work in here, or if I just started it way too early, then I'll just either start it later or direct sow it into the garden. So that is my plan. This is exciting. Again, it's been a slightly warmer than normal late winter going into spring, but still like not warm enough to actually start doing stuff outside. So it's been kind of, I don't know, definitely been very impatient wanting to get out there. I also don't know, I'll keep you updated, but I don't know how a lot of my tulips are doing, especially in the back raised beds. I think it might have stayed too moist, so I might be a little bit sad if I don't even get tulips this spring, but we'll see. Try not to think of the worst. But yeah, all of my salsa seeds are now sown. I'll keep you updated on this throughout this growing season. Obviously they'll be in my garden at some point, but if you want to see all of the clips of all of the gardeners that are doing this, I will link down the YouTube channel for From Seed to Spoon. But yeah, this is really exciting. As much as I've grown all of these vegetables for the most part before, like I've grown tomatoes, peppers, basil, I've never actually made salsa. I've made a lot of pasta sauces, but no actual salsa. So anyway, enough of me rambling. I think that's going to be everything for this video, and I will see you in the next one.